Part 3.
Man spends 5 streams on dance pad, nearly breaks his leg trying to beat Stilt fella.
These are my fighting words to kick off day 3 of the action. In part 2, I took a pause on level 23, and if you're here for the first time, this is the ultimate challenge where I place Stilt fella on a dance pad. If you want to know how we got here, I suggest you head over to part 1 and part 2 of the series to get caught up on the action. I've linked those in the description and comments section below. Alright, let's get started. Ever since I learned how to conquer the half wall, beating level 23 was only a matter of time. Still, it took me 45 minutes to clear this level, but I'm going to chalk that up to cold feet that needed warming up. From here on out is where the real game begins. The uphill climb, if you will. The second half of the game is a gauntlet of levels that stretch the foundation of everything we've learned to its limits. You're about to see the strongest ankles pushed to the limits.
No! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! Bring it back! Ankles, 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 ankles!
Starting with level 24 buckets. Have you ever been pelted by titanium metal buckets? Ow, it hurts. Level 25 dwarven mines and 27 precarious ledge. Here, moving slowly is like getting run over by a boulder like in the Indiana Jones movies. Instead, speed walking and balancing is the name of the game. On to level 26 the moon. This low gravity level looks relaxing, but it's actually a timing nightmare and makes obstacle a pain in the butt. Level 28 return to the sea. I didn't do much here. I just got really lucky and I rode that glitch to victory. 29 Stiltzilla. By far my favorite level, where I got to flatten the entire city. Level 30 Space Octagon. Round and round I go. Where I stop, nobody knows. Unless I win. 31 Backwards Land. This level is hard because we move backwards, but I just want to note the design and attention to details here. Everything is literally moving backwards. Look at these signs and the cars in the background. We couldn't beat this level by the end of day 3, and I had to carry on into day 4 to finally beat this level in 1.5 hours worth of moving backwards. Level 32. Platform Hell. This level is hard because we move forwards again. But no, really, if you enjoy platformers, this level is for you.
First we need to take an elevator ride up, catch that platform, transition to the other platform, catch that platform, transition to the other platform, go down the slope, and then transition to that platform, and drop and pray we catch that platform? How on earth is the timing for this gonna work?
Another 1.5 hours worth of annoying platforming. Level 33, Mystery Cavern. A nice stroll through a dark cave. And then level 34, a fella to light the way. A nicer stroll through a darker cave. And here we are. At long last, I have arrived at some of the hardest levels in the game. The Cloudland series. Starting with Cloudland 1. This is where I need to learn the final foundational element to the game. Jumping. To even get to the point where we get to learn how to jump, I need to first make it to the obstacle. So Cloudland overall seems to be a very simple level, but complexity lies in simplicity. You start off moving from platform to platform while riding upward airstreams. These aren't inherently hard as long as you carry a precise amount of momentum riding into them. Too fast or too slow, you risk missing the platform and face planting on a wall. Then you'll ride an airstream down to a narrow path, requiring some very good timing and momentum to land on a platform just past the midway point. If you manage to get to this point, you then reach the impossible task of jumping on this diving board to catch an airstream several feet in front of you. If I get this right, I can ride that airstream up to the finish line. I got a good enough taste of the level and decided against making further attempts, because after standing for over 4 hours straight, I'd rather start the next day with fresh legs and fresh perspective. Which brings us to the end of day 4. Starting day 5, but a little under the weather unfortunately, I'm starting to have a hard time doing long standing streams. The hours were definitely taking a toll, but also these later levels have put a lot more strain on my ankles than I thought. Constantly holding certain positions on the dance pad is not as easy as it looks. But first, I need to focus up so I can get some attempts at the diving board. That is going to be the real challenge. The most important thing here is to get the reps and try out as many strategies as possible. Jumping is definitely the way to go here, but there are so many different approaches that you can take, like what I tried here. For the first time in this run, I'm going to study some reference material from none other than the person responsible for me picking up this game. Another streamer by the name of TheBridgeTooFar. I've linked his Twitch down in the description below, so go check him out. He is a master at this game, having beaten the game in only just 3 days. You can see the mastery he has over this game. He starts off away from the ledge, gathers momentum, and does several jumps before reaching the edge of the board and launches straight into the airstream. But an important difference to note though, is that between his run and mine, is that I won't be able to move both stilts at the same time. And I definitely don't have the reflexes to adjust my stilts as fast as he does to change the direction of my jumps. Which means I need to find a consistent setup that would simulate what he's doing. But first, I needed more data and more attempts to experiment with. Dude, I messed up. I can't remember the last time I grinded something for so long and so hard that I had to sit down and take a break. I got so close in a few tries. You can see the various setups and jump attempts that I made, but they all failed to hit the airstream. Even so, there were a few promising runs that got oh so close until 200
really
plus
small
tries
power
later,
stance.
I got this
Like
run.
we could do a shorter one, like this one. Like I think this is a good distance. Oh my god!
But unfortunately, when I got it, that I forgot about the aerial movements that I learned back in Cyber World 1. Those moves were critical for us to stay in the airstream, and luckily it didn't take long for me to realize my mistakes, because after 3.5 hours and 231 attempts later, I finally hit the miracle run.
Why didn't I get through the level the first time? Why did we mess up? Why did we mess up? I don't know if it's gonna make it. Okay, the hat saved us. The hat save. Whew. A record is a record, but I guess a run still has to get verified, so someone would have to watch the whole thing. I'll look into it. How about that? How about that? I'll look into how we can submit this. I don't know if we will because this is like 5 VODs worth of like video. I don't know how I don't know how I'm gonna submit. I guess I could put it up on YouTube. And then some guy could just watch it all on YouTube. I do have all the VODs like recorded. Like someone will have to like time it because I don't have a timer running. Okay, I think this is good. If I can get him to stay still for a second. That's good. I don't want him to lean any which way because I'm trying to go straight up. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The dub! That's one step closer to the finale. I got to Cloudland 2 and actually got pretty far, but I decided against pushing my legs further and called it a day after beating only one level this stream. Heading into day 6, I had a good feeling about Cloudland 2, and it didn't take us long to pick up the trick here of moving in a forward airstream and knocking down the pillars. Cloudland 3 is one of the levels where every player gets hard stuck. It starts off with a difficult ride through a long airstream and into a tight hallway. Then comes 3 consecutive tricks of walking off a ledge and landing on a diving board. And then you need to carry that momentum into a jump onto a platform without causing it to fall off into oblivion. If we somehow complete the hat trick, then we can proceed to use the other side of the platform to slide onto the next safe spot. The rest of the level is no cakewalk either, because as the final test of skill, the level puts you through a gauntlet of platforms that must be traversed while riding a forward airstream. Yes, a forward airstream means there's no stopping to rest, and you must react fast to save your Stilt fella's life. Your Stilt fella will continuously land on unpredictable angles, forcing you to make split-second decisions on whether to keep jumping forward or stay still before making the next jump. Because if you die, you have to do everything all over again. This is by far the most unforgiving level of the main game. But let's not get discouraged and try to slowly but surely conquer this level one baby step at a time, starting from this very ledge. For the first trick, I learned very early on that to get off safely, I needed to extend my stilts as far as I could, and coincidentally, that also helped me land as far out in the diving board as possible. The second trick was the biggest puzzle though. I had tried over 100 jumps using various ideas to get over to the next platform, but no matter what I tried, I kept falling just short. What I had learned in my first 100 attempts are the 2 key segments leading up to the jump. The fella's position in midair and when he lands on the diving board just before the jump are the key segments. Any type of adjustments, small or large, leading up to the diving board can have significant impact on the outcome. As a matter of fact, a few more deaths later, I had this interesting run. First thing we did was to lift a stilt forward to set up the stilt fella upright. Second thing was to lead forward for the entire length of the time my stilts are on the diving board. These two seem to be the keys to getting a good jump onto the next platform. Having learned that, my consistency with the 3 tricks here improved drastically. I landed a reasonable 1 in 8 jumps onto the platform, which is important because I needed all the practice I can get for the upcoming gauntlet of platforms. Going into the airstream, I had but one strategy. Maintain balance at all times and only focus on that. And maybe, just maybe, if we manage to stay upright the entire way, the airstream will just carry me to the finish line. That strategy turns out wasn't enough. Trying to balance while maintaining forward momentum and jumping to the next platform was pretty much near impossible. The limitation I was facing was essentially me. My feet could not move or react fast enough to the crazy angles I was landing on. I tried to develop a slow strategy next in order to try to create a setup that would at least allow me to make it to the first floating platform. I would lean backwards just before hitting the forward airstream, such that when my stilt fella lands on the first platform, he wouldn't immediately tilt too far forward, allowing me some time to focus on the jump and hopefully landing onto the next platform. That strategy also proved to be incredibly difficult. I had over 15 plus attempts and usually I'd fall too short of the first platform or completely face plant into the concrete. After 260 plus attempts and over 3 hours standing on my feet, I was done. It was time to pack it up for the night and rest my ankles. I was getting very disappointed in myself and had considered using one of the 3 skips that the game allows to skip over this level. But I wanted to keep the integrity of the run clean and pristine and beat every single level no matter what. With that, it's back to the drawing board for the night while I try to come up with a better winning formula. Day 7. I was unable to come up with any new strategies, but thankfully, one of my viewers suggested putting both stilts forward while leaning back, and also doing short hops along the way. While the technique can't be executed on the dance pad, it did trigger something completely different to happen. What I would end up doing is walking in the air. Yep, just keep alternating stilts while in midair. The side effect of doing this in the airstream means I'll naturally lean back. It all somehow worked out. Shout out once again to TheBridgeTooFar in retrospect. He tried telling me this the previous day, but I didn't listen at the time. Thanks to that, I was able to maintain balance better and keep my feet ahead of my body, compensating for the fact that the airstream is consistently tilting my stilt fella forward. I started having better runs that were not just better, but more stable. I stopped dying immediately, and the new method and perspective was working, because after 30 minutes or so, we had this miraculous breakthrough. Dive, 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 dive. Pretty good. I think this should be good. Yep. No. Oh, let's go. Oh, thank the Lord. We're just gonna play it safe. Oh my god. Thank goodness. It only took 330 attempts, but we finally made it through the gauntlet. I don't know if you could tell, but I was gripping the table so hard by then, and for so long, I thought I would snap the table completely. After that intense run, I needed a break to reboot my legs. Level 38, the signal that the end is approaching. This was a breeze, especially with low gravity, and it was a welcome sight, as so was level 39, where dying is near impossible. Tune in next time to part 4, the finale to my ultimate Stilt Fella Dance Pad Challenge. Until then, enjoy some dance pad shenanigans, and I'll see you next time. Wait, how did I die? Wait, what? Wait.